All right, let's jump back into this discussion on Calvinism. Yesterday we covered the T in the tulip acrostic, which was total depravity or total inability. And today we're going to cover the U, which is unconditional election. Now, before we get into that, for this short, I want to make two clarifications. Yesterday I got a comment that said, tulip is just kind of a really grossly oversimplified version of what Calvin said and what he taught. And I would agree with that. Having having a background of Reformed theology and having studied both the Institutes of Calvin as well as I have this book here. I can show you Calvin's Calvinism, which is basically a combination of his books, The Eternal Predestination of God, and also The Secret Providence of God. And having pored over this and studied it and known it, it's a pretty oversimplified way of looking at it. However, I think for this format, for YouTube shorts, YouTube videos, whatever, to have it be the most accessible for as many people as possible, Tulip is a good tool for us to understand the basic building blocks of what Calvin was trying to talk about when he put forward this theology. So, so I agree. Yes, it is very simplistic. It is almost a reductionism down to like something to make it accessible, but there is a lot of more nuance in what we discover in Calvin stuff. The second thing I want to talk about is the fact that undergirding all of Calvin's ideas and all of his theology is a very strong, high view of the sovereignty of God. And so in order to maintain this high sovereignty of God, as you read the scriptures, as you try to think through theologically what's going on there, this is how he came to these positions, because he wanted to maintain that the sovereignty of God, the reign, the rule of God, the control of God was over all things. And so to not have God in control of things like salvation, and control of things like the atonement and all that kind of stuff, where it goes, who it goes to, all that kind of stuff, would mean that it would be a mark against the sovereignty of God for Calvin. And so he wanted to uphold a very strong, high view of the sovereignty of God. So I wanted to make sure I said that today, because I didn't say that yesterday. All right, let's jump into unconditional election.